several questions. Begin with several questions. First of all, why was the Torah, why does the Torah tell us that the Ten Commandments were given from the name of God, Elohim? Elohim is the lower name of God. That's the name of God that creates the world. And the Torah is much, 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 much above the world. And another question is that the culmination, that in the Torah was included everything, including the revelation that's going to be in the days of Mashiach. And then the Rebbe asks a chain of questions on Mashiach. How is it Mashiach is going to teach everybody Torah? There's going to be millions, billions of people. How can he teach everybody? And what will he teach them? Don't we already know what the Torah is? We know what it is. Maybe I'll answer a few questions people have, but how is he going to teach everybody the Torah, and what exactly is he going to teach them? It says that he will teach everyone the ways of God. We already know the ways of God. And so how is the Mashiach going to teach everybody, and what is he going to teach everyone? So the Rebbe says, the Torah, in order to understand this, we have to understand that the Torah has a lot of different levels of revelation. There is in the Torah, and this is represented by the fact that in the Torah there are 3 different sizes of letters. The majority of the Torah is written in regular sized letters, but there's also an aleph base in small letters and an aleph base in big letters. One of the examples of the small letters is the word Vayikra. The word Vayikra is the first word in the book of Leviticus. Vayikra means that God called. He called, that God called into Moshe. Why is the aleph small? The Zohar tells us that the aleph is small because that time that God called to Moshe, that it was in the desert, and it was only in the tabernacle. It wasn't in the holy temple. Which is not the case if it would have been in the holy temple and in Israel, that the aleph would have represented a higher level of revelation. It wouldn't have been small. We also found that they find in the Torah that there's a big aleph, big letter aleph. Where is that? In the beginning of the book of Chronicles. The first word in the book is Adam. It goes through the whole generations of man, starting off from Adam, the first man. It says Adam is with a big aleph. Why is it big? Because this is hinting at the revelation that's going to be in the days of Mashiach. Aleph. So here we already have a little bit of a hint at what's going to be in the Torah in the days of the Mashiach. Because the main thing of Mashiach is the Torah. The Torah is going, Mashiach is going to bring everyone, all the Jews, and even the whole world, to go according to the ways of the Torah. All the non-Jews will drop all their religions. There won't be any more Muslims or Buddhists or Hindus or Christians or Zoroastrians, even though all of these religions have their positive. That's right, no Zoroastrians, I'm sorry. And even though all these religions have their positive side, but not as positive as they could be. Not the true emes. Why? Because people are not connected directly to the creator of the universe. They believe in spirits and powers and angels and forces. And they do not believe in the creator alone. So that's what it's going to be with the big aleph. So where did we get up to? Kitzer. We'll see. I think maybe we'll learn the whole thing because it's interesting. Yaksha, he asked. It was asked. This is Kitzer means a summary. Kitzer, Yaksha. By the way, this Maamar is found in a book which is called. I guess you can't see anything here, but it's a book by the sixth Lubavitcher Rebbe's Rabbi Yosef Yitzchak's discourses, and it's called Contrasting Base on page 836. Okay, Kitzer, here's a summary of the first paragraph. That's what we learned yesterday. Yaksha, we asked the question, Lama, why? Matan Torah and Matan Torah Shahoya, that there was Gilui, a revelation, Ha'atzmus, of the essence of God, who is Mishem, from the name Elokim, which Elokim is the name of Tzimtzum, contraction. V'yava air, and it was explained, Ki, because the Matan Torah, that when the Torah was given, Nitnu was given, Gam also, Agiluyim, the revelations, the Torah Chadasha of the new Torah, Sheyilmod Mashiach, that the Mashiach will learn, Im, with Yisrael, the Jewish people. Period. Warning. V'yaksheh, and the question was asked, Ta'az, that then Yakumu will stand up. Ha'avos, the fathers, Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, Moshe Rabbeinu, and Moses, the Kol Tzadikim, and all the Tzadikim that are after Moshe, all the prophets, all this, Ma Yilmod, what will teach Imahem, what will he learn with them? How will the Mashiach teach? All these people already know. Why are they called tzaddikim? Because they went according to the Torah. So they knew the Torah. What is the Mashiach going to teach them? What can he add on to them? They knew every single letter that was written. The eich, and how echad, can one person yilmod, learn, im riboy kazeh, in such a great multitude? Huh? Maybe that might be the answer, but it's sort of hard. I mean, it could be. I mean, that's an answer. You know, that it could be an answer. You know, they have televisions, videos, iPods, contacting, right? Maybe it will be implants in people's brains. They'll just. But the question is, though, is that there's people are going to have a lot of questions. They're going to have to ask a lot of questions, and people are going to have individual direction of what to do. Especially, let's say, take an example, the people are serious, they want to change their religion. So, I mean, we have no idea how much energy and how intelligent a lot of these people are that are the heads of the other religions, right? These big priests and big people, they're genius, a lot of them are genius, intelligent people, and they really truly believe in the religions that they are. There's going to have to be a lot of explanation to these people about why what they're doing is not good and what they should be doing with the same excitement. Hello, rabbis, I'll tell you afterwards. So how is the Mashiach going to teach everybody all these new lessons that there's going to be? New lessons. Right? It's going to be not so easy. So we'll see. It says even Moses, when he taught the Jews in the desert, he had a lot of trouble from these people. And these were all Jews, and there were 600,000, and they all saw big miracles. They had every reason, you listening? To listen to Moses. They had every reason to listen to him. They were a captive audience. They were there in the desert. They had no choice, right? They needed Moshe for food, and Moses' merit. There came the man from heaven, and Moses was leading them. They needed him for directions, and Moses was the only one talking to. Essentially, they needed him. Nevertheless, they didn't listen to him. And after all the Jewish people got the Torah and they got to learn, they did the most obvious. They worshipped the golden calf, which that you didn't have to have any big teacher tell you. They heard it directly from God. Don't worship idols. And they all did it. So to teach billions and billions of people, it's not going to be so easy, especially when a lot of people don't want to hear what you have to say. Right? Here. But people will resist brain planting, implant. People will resist. They won't. Then you have to figure out a way to keep everybody calm. Like, imagine what the line is going to be, what the big line. Billions and billions of people waiting in turn. Not only that, God doesn't want brain implants. God wants people to decide for themselves with their own free will, not to be coerced. Coercion doesn't work, doesn't last long. You can fool some of the people all the time, and all the people some of the time, but you can't fool everyone. What do you mean? Because people are guilty, and people are afraid, and a lot of people just don't care. They just do what everybody else does. There's nothing else available. So they believe in that. Yeah, but then they do what their parents do, and everybody does what everybody does, and then they're afraid. They're afraid if they go against them, they're going to burn in hell. There's something bad will happen to them. Style thing. No, it'll be the 7 Noahide commandments. People will believe in the God who's creating them. They'll believe in the God who's creating them. There's nothing more warm and close and positive than that. God's creating us. That's pretty good. Okay, let's go. We'll get the words after. Let's go. Matan Torah was the question: how can one person learn with such a great number? Umahim, and what are hadarachim, the ways? Chadashim, new ways. Sheyischadju, that will be renewed as. What is going to be the new Torah that the Mashiach is going to be revealing? What's it going to be? And it will be explained that the Torah, Ikra, its essence is osios, letters. What type of letters? Beinonius, middle-sized letters. But there is also Yeshba, there is in it Gam also Rav Ravin, big letters. V'ze'ir, and small letters. V'hevdol beineim, and what's the difference between them? And we said that the big letters come from Bina, the small letters are Zer Anpin, and the little letters are Malchus. Do you remember that? Do you remember that, Bora? The big letters represent Bina, the middle-sized letters are Zer Anpin, small faces, which means God's emotions, and the little letters represent Malchut. Malchus is the lowest of the 10 Sfirot. Do you know the 10 Sfiros are?
Yeah, I don't know my own, but I thought that most people were lower, no? I thought there was a 3 here and then 7 more, no?
Okay, so let me go through very, very quickly the 10 Sfirot. Here we're dealing only with the 7 lower ones. No, with the 10 Sfirot, yes. We have, first of all, Chachma, Bina, and Dat. Chachma, Bina, and Dat, that's on the top. That is the intellect. Here it's represented by the big letters, Bina. The Rebbe is going to explain here why Bina and not Chachma. You're going to see why. Bina. The middle-sized letters, that's the majority of the Torah, that represents the emotions. So that's the next 7. 6. Chesed, Gevura, Tiferet, Netzach, Hod, and Yesod. I'll explain. Chesed means... Chesed, let me explain. Chesed means love. Giving. Like water. Give. Life. Without any discerning. Just giving. Chesed. Gevura. Gevura is power. Severity. Limitation. Like fire. Warm. Power. Tiferet.
But it's not warm, I thought it's more like cold, but judgment.
Cold. Judgment is the intellect. Chesed, Chachma, Bina, and Das. Gevura is severity. It's called judgment. You can call it judgment, not intellectual judgment.
No,
it's to be
emotional
emotional judgment. The person is very severe. Things, right? He's a severe person. Severity, limitation,
quality.
Power.
Quality.
What?
Quality.
That's right. Severe quality. Tiferet. Tiferet is balance, purpose. Right? And sometimes it's called beauty. Tiferet is beauty. Why? Because it's purposeful. Beauty. Then there is Netzach. Netzach is loosely. There's a lot of ways to explain it. Netzach is victory. Victory. Victory means overcoming all obstacles, not reckoning with any obstacles. Netzach and Hod are how you relate to the outer world. The outer world. Chesed, Gevurah, Tiferet, that's the inner side. That's your inner attitude. Your inner attitude. This person is more of a kind person. He likes to give. This person is more of a severe person. He wants to not to give, to be strict all the time. Limitation. This person is Tiferet, who wants to be balanced. But now, how do you actually deal with the world? When there is the world, what do you do? Right? Some people is netzach. They overcome all obstacles. Other people is hod. Hod is they surrender. They give in. Then there's what's called yesod. Yesod means to be connected. Netzach is on the side of chesed, kindness. Netzach, giving, going over. Nothing stops me. Hod is on the side of gevura, right? I'm limitation. I won't go any further. I'll stop. Yesod is connection. Another word for it is interest. Being interested in something. Yesod. So it is to be connected to something, to be interested in it, to be, how do you say, constant. Yesod needs to be connected. Right? Connected. You're talking to somebody, if you really take an interest in that person and you're connected to the person you want to see, that's called Yesod. And then, that's the 6 emotions, that's Zeranpin. Malchut is finalization. Final, the final product. The final product, how everything comes all together. What is the final product? That's Malchus. So Malchus, in a way, is like not one of the emotions. It's not a personality trait, in a way. It's just the revelation and the finality of all of the traits. The intellect, what your plan was, and the emotions, what your, how do you say, your personality is, and the lower part is netzach, what your nature is, right? The nature is to give over, to give over, not to give over, to be connected. And the finalization, how it really comes out in the end, that's called Malchus. So we have, these are aspects of God. The big letters are represented by the bina of God, the understanding, the intellect, the awareness of God. The middle-sized letters, that's the emotions of God. That's the majority of the Torah, what God wants, and what God doesn't want, what God likes and what he doesn't like. Right? What he likes, that's chesed. What he doesn't like is gevura, the commandments, positive commandments, negative commandments. That's the whole Torah. And then there is what's called Malchus. Malchus is a very small revelation of the Torah. It's how the actual Torah comes to us. Right now, how it looks. With Malchut, you could take Malchut, how the Torah looks to us, and you can twist it around. There's no meaning, there's no emotions in it. You can take it and twist it around. That's what the Protestants, the Catholics, all these other people, right? They take the Torah and they mix it around. Make different ideas from it, and this one you can take, this one you can't, and they change it around. But that's Malchus. Malchus is just the external revelation with no depth to it. She says that's what the little letters are. Little letters are, so we see that there's 3 levels of revelation, each in the Torah itself. The whole Torah can be taken in the way of Malchus. The Torah can be taken in the way of Zeranpin, or it can be taken in the way of Bina. Bina we haven't gotten to yet. That's going to be represented by Mashiach. We're going to see. Now we're going to explain what is this Bina. What's this Bina? We're going to understand a little bit what's going to happen in the days of Mashiach. Okay? Mr. Smith. Va'inyan. The in is like this. Okay, now we're going to understand the big letters. What is Bina? What's the revelation going to be in the time of Mashiach? Va'inyan. V'hine, behold. Asvin, Rabavim, the big letters. And we said the big letters, that's represented by the letter, big, for instance, the big letter Aleph in Chronicles, which is Adam. In the days of Mashiach, Adam is going to be the big Aleph. Man will be different. You're going to see. The Rebbe is going to say the Torah will be the same, but people will be different. People are going to be different. It's going to be a whole different revelation of what man is. Man will truly be man. We'll see. Because that's the question of the Maamar, right? If in the Torah it's contained the whole entire Torah, it's also contained the Torah of Mashiach. What is this Torah of Mashiach? It's going to be big letters. Hine, behold, Inyan is, Hine, behold, Osif and Rabim, in the big letters. Hagam, even though. Shein, that they are in Bina, even though the big letters come from Bina, the revelation of Mashiach is going to be Bina. What's Bina? Understanding. Understanding. But there's higher than Bina. There's also what's called Chachma. Chachma is higher than Bina. Why isn't the days of the Mashiach going to be represented by Chachma? Why Bina? Bina is a lower level. Understanding. This is because, again, Hinyan Hu, the topic is like this. The answer is like this. Hine, behold, Asvin, Rabavim, the big letters, Hagam, even though, Shehin, that they are Babina, even though these big letters of the Torah, it says they stand for the level of Bina, which is understanding. Hine, behold, Shorshan, their source, who is Beketer. Their source is in Keter. Keter, Bina, because Keter and Bina, Mishtavim, are equal, Behashemot, in names. Keter and Bina are equal in their names. How so? Kedeita b'Zohar, like it says in Zohar, on the pasuk on the Torah, the Eved, was it? The Oved Halevi who? The service of the Leviim is. Who are the Leviim? The Kohanim. They are the priests. The Levites were the helpers. They sang in the Beis Hamikdash. They did other things. The Levites. So it says the service of the Levite who is. It says in the Zohar, who? This word is. It is. It says the service of the Levites. It is. What's it? Who? This word for it. This is Atika. This is the level of Atik. Atik is another name for Keter. Keter. Now what is Keter? Do you know? Baruch? The opposite of kingship, in a way. Keter is the highest of the 10 Sfirot.
But I understand that goes kingship.
And Malchut is the lowest of the 10 Sfirot.
Wouldn't kingship be like, crown? Kingship, king, crown.
Right, so it's explained that kingship is the lowest of the 10 Sfirot, but it feeds the next world below it. So it's the king of everything below it. And what does it go into? It goes into the crown of the world below it. Right. So there are 10 Sfirot, which I just told you what they are, and on top of them all is Keter, which Keter connects to the next world. Similarly, there are 10 Sfirot from the higher world, and the lowest of them all is Malchut, and that goes into the world below it, the Keter. So that's one of the reasons why it's called, sometimes it's called Keter Malchut, the crown of the king. Because according to Kabbalah, the upper worlds, that's the foundation. So the king is standing on his feet, the head is, so to speak, downward, it's coming downward. The crown is over the king's head. So that's on it. But, in general, Keter is the highest of the 10 Sfirot, and Malchut is the lowest of the 10 Sfirot. Why? Because the highest is revealed specifically in the lowest. Where can you see this? Let's say if a person builds a house, so he has all these first of all, he has a will to build a house. That will corresponds to Keter. You can give me my glasses if you want. Those are the way okay, good. Leave it. A person has a will to build a house. What do we say? We have there's 10 Sfirot. There's Chachma, Bina, Dat. Chachma is, they translate it as wisdom, but it really means conception, the concept, the idea, the first idea. You have to build a house. But before you have the idea, what do you have? A will, a desire. Right? You have a desire inside of yourself. You want a house, like that. I want a house. All of a sudden you get an idea. Hey, I'll build a house. But that idea, that's chachma. But higher than that is the desire, the will, the desire. That will, that rutzon. That rutzon is called keter. So keter is on the top. The first thing is the will to have a house. Right? Where does that will actually reveal the most? In the final house. In the way you go and you go to the bank, you get a loan, you get it funded, you go to an architect, you get plans, the architect brings a foreman, he brings you go, you see how they're building, all these things are in the middle. The architect, the plans, the money, then you buy the land, where it is, you get all the papers, right? All these, this is according to your idea. Maybe you have to argue a little bit, maybe you have to deal a little bit, maybe you have to talk a little bit. All these things are the inner spirut. Chachma, Bina, Das. Where is the Keter, the crown, really revealed? In the final product. There's my house. Oh, the final thing. That's Malchut. So that's why the top is revealed in the bottom. Now the Rebbe is going to say that more than anything else, that the top keter is revealed in bina. In bina. What's bina? Understanding. Right? Bina is understanding. If you go and you say, this is a beautiful house, it's mine. Someone comes and tells you, that's not your house. What do you mean it's not my house? Oh, I'm sorry, I made a mistake, I didn't tell you. I had the bill for somebody else. So that house belongs to somebody else. So all of a sudden, what's wrong? Because of your understanding, the whole thing is wrecked. Right? You were so happy before, but now you came to somebody explain it to you. Your understanding is this is not mine. So the pleasure of having this thing is revealed more in understanding than anywhere else. Right? There has to be, of course, the final thing. But it's the understanding that this final thing is mine, and what the final thing is, that's what makes you happy. So which is generally, in any time you have a question about something, if it's really, really important to you, you're really connected to it, you really want to know what is the answer, when you finally find the answer, and it's explained to you, then you have pleasure. Right? You finally, first of all, you get a flash of what the answer is. Maybe the answer is like this. You feel good. But not as good as when you think about it, somebody explains it to you, this is good. This makes sense. Right? That's called bina. In bina is revealed pleasure. It's revealed keter. So that's why the big letters are bina, because bina is the place where there's revealed more pleasure than in chachma, even in chachma. Yes. You understand? You understand why? So let's look and see. Kareisa b'Zohar, like it says in the Zohar on the pasuk, Aved Alevi He. Who? The service of the Levi is what's called who. Who is third person? Far away. This third person, who is Atik. Atik is another name for keter, the inside level of keter. Hakavana, the intention is on bina. Bina, that's this level of who. Bina is who? Sha'ari, because behold, Haleveim, the Levites, hey, bina, they are bina. The Levites come from bina. The Kohanim are from the level of Chachma, which is higher, and the Levites come from bina. They represent this aspect of bina, understanding. Hainu, Shabina, that the bina is called, quote, who, end quote. Kanoda, as is known. Hainu, namely, Shabina, that bina is called, quote, who, end quote. V'chein, and similarly, Atika, this level of Atik, Atik is Keter, the inside of Keter. His crown is also called who, quote, end quote, who. So both Bina and Keter are called who. They're called the same name. So what do we get out of this? The big letters are called Bina because that's where the ultimate pleasure is revealed. Atik is pleasure. That's external Keter. The external aspect of Keter is Ratzon, like you said, will. But the internal level of Keter is pleasure. Atik and no, Atik is revealed in Bina. And that's why they have the same name, who. They're both called who. Who means him. Right? Third person, far away. Both of them are called the same thing. Okay. Now that's the big letters. We're going to see, and that's what's going to be revealed in the days of the Mashiach, and we're going to see. Yadu, and it's known, Tehid Galut, that the revelation of Atik, he is in Bina. Hainu, namely, Tegilu, that the revelation, Sphere at Keter, of this aspect of Keter, who is the Bina in Bina, Yoter, more, Mikamo, than, Than, the Chachma. Pleasure is revealed in Bina more than it is in Chachma. Even though the Chachma is higher, wisdom is higher than understanding, or in our normal language, a concept, an idea is higher than understanding. The conception is a higher thing. You get, all of a sudden, an idea from nowhere.
Yeah, it's like when you study Gemara, right?
Right, all of a sudden you get, but then you think about it. You're not sure. You have to think about it to understand it. Bina. Then when you understand it, then you feel good. Then it makes you feel good.
It's also like, like cogitating in the mind, right? Like certainly if
That's right. Trying to understand. Right. So it's understand more than the Chachma. Now, I'll give another example. In Chassidut, Chachma is faith, Emunah. Why? Because Chachma is faith. What does it mean, faith? Faith means you have an idea, a concept, what God is. Who? But it's above your understanding. God creates me. Do you understand this, how God creates me?
Yeah.
Don't understand it. But I have this feeling that that's what God is. Right? I have this feeling. That's this emunah, faith. You're willing to even give yourself over for this idea. It doesn't make any sense to you. People laugh at you. People this. No. I have this feeling that this is what's right. Right? That's faith. Could be you're wrong. Could be what you is wrong. That's why you have bina. Bina is to come to try to understand, right? I have faith. I believe that that's what God wants me to do. He wants me every morning to wash my head with water 7 times. 7 times. Why? Because it's according to the 7 midos. Who told you to do that? Faith. I have emunah. Said, okay, but you're wrong. It's not so. Right? It's a nice idea. It's good. You have faith. It's a good thing. Faith, wonderful thing. But it's not right. Bina comes to explain what it is. But faith is a wonderful thing. Faith attaches you to what's above. The person says, oh, well, if I'm not going to wash my head several times every morning, and then I'm not going to do anything. Faith is not a good thing. No, you got it wrong. Faith is a good thing. It's a good thing, but you just have to be directed properly. That's why you have bina, understanding. Right? You have to learn, understanding. So it says, faith is wonderful, especially when you have true faith, and it's really true, your faith in Hashem, and it also gives you pleasure. You get an idea, oh, this is wonderful, about tshuva. This is great, right? I'm wonderful, God exists. It's really real. But now you have to sit down and understand it. Understand is not so sharp. But when you do understand, you feel good. There's a good feeling. And there's more pleasure. That's the Rebbe's going to say that. Something like that, that's right. The Yuv and Zeh, this is understood. I don't know why. Yuv and Zeh, this is understood Mikochos and Nefesh, from the powers of the soul. The Klal is a Kochos, at the beginning of the powers of the soul. I just told you what they are, the 10 spiros. Mitchalkim are divided, Lishtei Medregos, to 2 levels, Klalim, 2 general levels. Kochos Penimim, internal powers, the Kochos Makifim, and surrounding powers. Or, in a simple language, personality powers and above personality. The Miko